to the LP show.
Get it? Yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to the LP show. This is episode 7. Last episode, I kept saying it was episode 7, but it was episode 6. This is episode 7. We are super happy for everyone to be here with us. We got a lot of topics to touch on. You know, we got Drew to the left of me here. I don't know if he's left or right. And then we got Blano on the bottom. Super happy Blano's back with us. Blano, how you doing, man? Where you been? You know, it's been like 2 weeks. How's everything been going with you?
It's going well. You know, I just recently took a promotion and swapped some shift schedules. I've been covering the night shift for the past couple weeks, so when everyone else is awake, I'm sleeping.
The graveyard.
That's where I've been at, and you know, thankfully we're back. You know.
Yeah, it's super cool to have you back. Me and Drew were actually, I don't know if you got to watch episode 6 or not, but we were actually just giving you a few shout outs in the beginning or end in the beginning, just saying, man, it's been a minute since we've seen Blano, I feel like.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's super cool to have you back. Drew, how you been, man? It's Saturday tonight, so it's not Friday. We typically do it on Friday, it seems like, but Saturday tonight. How you doing, man?
Been good, man. Good.
How was the week?
Chilling. Pretty easy week, awesome week. I had an anniversary, 7 years
Nice.
wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But no, yeah, we celebrated. We didn't really do anything special. We usually just say that for like the milestones, you know, the 5, the 10 or whatever years, but no, we just went to Texas Roadhouse, my friend.
I feel like everybody in Indiana goes to Texas Roadhouse for their anniversary.
Texas Roadhouse. Get them
my
fucking
fucking
rolls.
mouth full of those rolls. Yep, yes sir.
Hey,
Those rattlesnake bites. Oh,
never
my
had
God.
those. What are those about?
what?
The rattlesnake bites. What
about them?
are they actually like rattlesnake or?
No. So they're like little balls of like jalapeno, like cheese.
Like the
They
poppers,
have like,
then.
yeah, they're like poppers. Yeah, exactly. But they're great, man. I love them.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, you know, we can dive into the first topic here today if you fellas are ready to. You know, the future of work. We talked about it a little bit before we went live. Just about, you know, during COVID, everything was going remote. You know, there was like, you know, Drew and I touched on in the last episode, there was essential workers, there were things like that. How do you guys see the future of that? Like, what are the pros and cons? We'll just start with of remote working. Would you say, Blano, if you wanna kick us off?
Of course, yeah. So obviously when COVID hit, right, everyone just hunkered down and just stayed in their home for months, right? I do think that there's some negative consequences to that. And I have firsthand experience, man. I remember literally days where I didn't even leave my room, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck else does there to do? You can't leave, you know?
God,
Getting paid
Grocery
from the
stores are
government.
basically- Yeah.
man, you guys had it easy. You were getting paid. What?
Yeah.
Unemployment, yeah.
What was it, $700 or whatever it was?
$750 a
$1,200
week.
bucks. Wild. You know, I think, you know, us as people, humans, we need that social interaction, you know, as much as, you know, I'm an introvert as an introvert, you know, but there's some times where I really want that social interaction, and you can get that, and a lot of people do get that through going to work, right? So not saying that remote work is a bad thing, and sometimes that works for people. That's what they want. That's what works for their life, with their wife, their children, whatever. But I think, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of pushback, but I think a lot of places should go back to working from an office, whatever.
Yeah, no, I get it. Just to touch on that real quick, it's you know, just to play at devil's advocate from the other side, it's like, you know, like you said, it could be good for some people, and maybe some people do enjoy, as weird as it is, getting on the computer rather than, you know, going in person or something, and they enjoy being able to, you know, just say, hey, good morning, and, you know, send those emojis or whatever, you know. So, you know, I see it from
Emojis.
Yeah, that's what it is, you know. I mean, seriously, it's crazy, but
I wouldn't mind going remote, you know, but I know for me, if I spent a month being remote, I would be in the worst mental state of my life.
Yeah,
Just sitting here all day, every day.
Like you said, I think it's per person for sure. Like you said,
Yeah.
I think that's a good take for sure. Drew, what's your take on it?
I mean, it to each his own, But me, I just know I would just get really lazy. I'd get really fat and really lazy.
I was in the same boat.
Yeah,
Yep.
I couldn't even imagine myself doing that. One,
But
I would have to be moving around.
I was about to say, what do you, there are things to avoid that as well, though, right? Like going out on a walk on your lunch, or
Of course,
standing while you're working rather than sitting the whole day, so you're not getting ass
That's where
sores.
discipline comes in, That's where discipline comes in. And if somebody doesn't have a lot of discipline, I'll just do that tomorrow, or something I catch myself doing. Oh, I got some dishes in the sink, I'll do this real quick for whatever, and then 15 minutes goes by, then 2 hours goes by, then 7 hours goes by, and it's one of those things where if you don't have that discipline to get up and say, you know what, okay, I'm working from home, I need to make sure I get my 30 minutes of decent exercise in, whether that be a walk or some push-ups, some sit-ups, some mountain climbers, whatever, chores, that's where it's going to be some self-accountability on your own end, right?
I think that's the biggest part. It's a good thing you touched on there, but I think that's probably the biggest part with remote work is is having that self accountability, and that's the difference between people who can and can't do it, right? Because it's like, well, it's that, and it's also like, I guess, how much can your mental take of the isolation, and it's different for everybody, right? Like Blano, you, like for instance, you would just be sitting there and you'd be like,
Right.
here it's like,
I don't have
Erica's
family here.
Erica's in the back, it's like got the cats running around. So it's like, even if you had a cat, Blano, I bet you'd be like, yeah, for sure. And you just have your cat sitting on your lap all day.
I miss my cat, man, for sure. Here's something I thought about. On the what do you guys think about work jobs saying we're gonna kill remote work because we want to try to monitor productivity, right? If you're in an office, but if productivity has been met while everyone was working from home, how does that argument still stand? I've seen that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Drew, do you want to take this first?
I mean, I think companies just want more and more. They want everything they can get out of you. I think that's what that pretty much is. I mean, they want to make sure that you're going above and beyond, which obviously not everyone's going to be doing that. But
and to touch on that, Drew, that's exactly why you see the numbers of everywhere across the job board of what they're at, right? Like that's why you see them so low, right? Like so what you just said, Blano, is pretty much everybody wants that. So all the companies want all the people to get back in house so they can micromanage them more. Who likes a micromanager?
No. Nope.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which is why you see the numbers go down. So it's like there's a cause and effect to everything, right?
Which and good for the people out there who are working from home and putting their foot down, saying, I can get my job done. I can meet productivity levels while still working from home.
I know
you guys.
My wife Erica does it, and dude, it's the best thing that for her, honestly, because she doesn't have to worry about the traffic. She doesn't have to. It's extra stress. Right. It's all extra stress. You don't even think about you have to worry about every day. Drew, you having to take an Uber.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that too.
Extra money you're saving every week.
Yeah. Yep.
So those are all big things, I feel like to definitely play into that and the future of work. And to touch on another thing pertaining to this is, like Drew and I discussed on episode 6, was the AI automation taking over people's jobs. Drew, do you have something to maybe say about that? I know you talked about it a little bit last week.
I mean, eventually, I think it's gonna be more and more like they're gonna have a lot more jobs that AI, robots are gonna be taking over their jobs. But one thing that I've always thought, like, what if like sometime in the future that literally all you have to do is get out of your bed, go to some put on your VR headset with like some gloves or something, and then boom, there's like a robot at work. And it's literally doing your job.
It's probably what it's going to be.
Thought about that. That could be. You never know. You know what I'm saying? It's just who knows? I think it just depends on the job.
Scary
It
thing.
depends on what you're doing. Yeah. So who knows?
Wasn't there a Disney movie? Wasn't it Wall-E that kind of touched on that, right? Where
Really?
yeah, the details were not about work, but were basically where people were just not working, right? They were sitting in their chairs and they were
Oh
doing
yeah, you're
whatever.
right.
Oh yeah,
And they had
they were
the
just
doctors
they're
and
just
everything.
they're rolling around on their on their power wheels.
And they're like 800 pounds, right? And everyone's obese, you
Little
know.
screen in front of their face.
Well, I mean, obviously that's a animated Disney movie, right? And it's not indicative of what could happen, but that would suck, you know, if everything went digital and everyone could just sit at home with a visor on and they're there for 8 hours a day, you know.
But don't you think it's a realistic thing that the human species itself is striving for at some level?
You know, doesn't that speak to, you know, just how lazy we are as people?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If given the choice between walking around a mountain or hacking your way through it, people are going to take walking around the mountain 10 times out of 10, right? They're not going to want to do extra work.
Right.
You know? But
See, it's just like when we lived in Florida, man, like you never seen bicycles. All it was electronic bicycles.
electric
Nobody's pedaling. You're not pedaling
Really?
anymore. Yeah, you probably don't see it in Indiana. You don't really see it up north. But you probably see it, Blano. But all you see is electrical bicycles.
You know, when I was growing up, you know, before, you know, growing up, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old, you know how I got around and met with all my other friends?
My BMX
Ride my
bike.
fucking bike everywhere. Oh, yeah. Everywhere.
With the pegs on it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Had a buddy on the
You know, you're
front.
waking up. Yep. You're waking up 6 a.m. You're outdoors because growing up, man, I couldn't be in the house. You know, you're outside and
100%.
you were hopping on your bike. You know.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Just to dive in.
days.
Yeah. Just to dive into that was a productive conversation though about that. I feel like just to dive into the next topic. I'll let Drew kind of take this one. About the cartels and such.
Oh, about the crazy stuff that's
yeah,
going on in Mexico.
This expert.
There's I mean, there's always crazy shit going on in Mexico, but just recently, a mayor in southern Mexico got his their newly elected mayor, maybe not even a week in. They found him his head cut off,
Wow.
and it was on his pickup truck. They found on the hood of his pickup truck.
Was that in America?
No, it was in
No.
southern Mexico. I think it is. Oh,
That's crazy. So he had his head cut off.
yes, and obviously it's drug cartels, but yeah, newly elected. I think it's in what is that called? Chilapacino. I can't pronounce it. I suck.
Chilapacino.
Whatever it is, southern
That's
Mexico.
crazy. Wow.
But then, so there's two major drug cartels in that area.
What are the names of them? Do you know?
They are, I believe, they're the the Ardillos, Ardillos, and the Talacos. Sounds like tacos, but no, yeah, they've basically just been creating chaos for the last few years. There has been tons of hostage situations last year. I think maybe 9 other people have, like, politicians have been executed there within the last year.
Yeah,
so they are. What? Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say I was just reading some facts up on the Ardillos, and it says that some of the activities that they're known for are drug productivity, particularly opium, poppy, and have been known to engage in violent clashes with rival groups. And their territory of their operation is concentrated in areas like Chilapachingo and surrounding regions.
Yeah.
However the hell you say that.
Yes. Yep. So it's shit's kicking off there, man. I mean, it's always kicking off. But they already have a new mayor now.
Really?
Yes, they already. I guess he was already. They already used him as a backup plan, pretty much. His name is Gustavo Alarcon. He's a doctor. And obviously, his first thing that he said pretty much is he wants to combat violence.
Well, the problem in Mexico, and I'm sure we can all speak on that, is, well, not really speak on it like we've been there, but, speak on it of what we've seen, is that their government's completely controlled by the cartel. So
Yeah.
how do you, Blano, how do you deal with that as a country?
Oh, I don't know if I'm qualified to. I get reminded of I think it was, I forget which country, but the leadership there, the government there, basically built a massive prison, right? Massive prison, and then they went up. They took the army, their army, and they just rounded up everyone who was a gang member and put them in the prison, and they stocked the prison with well qualified guards, prison COs, whatever. And we're talking people who with military training, and they live there, they work there, around the clock. They are with those guys 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a very very niche scenario, but by all accounts, it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So the answer to that is you have to get someone in place higher up who's not been polluted, right? Who's in the pocket of whatever, and they have to want to care enough to crack down on that and then actually follow through. It's not something that gets solved in a day. I'm sure it's not something that gets solved in 6 months, but the change has to start with someone who wants to care, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a good point for sure, because it all comes down to one, like you said, one person putting their foot down and saying, "No, you're not going to pay me off," and threaten my family and all this other good stuff. But I think that's where Mexico has their biggest problems, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the biggest problems. Side note here, the new mayor, Gustavo, the picture that I've seen on here, he is literally holding up the Nazi salute. I don't know what that's about.
What?
I don't know what that's about, but yeah, look him up. Look, and you'll probably see it.
What's his name?
Gustavo Alarcon, Alarcon.
I see it. What the hell?
See that?
Do you see that, Blano?
I'm looking it up right now.
What is going on with this dude?
They, South America, they are known, that's where the Nazis fled, So, who knows?
That's pretty crazy.
There are some cities, like in South America, that they are, like, it's German names, and they have German-speaking people. Like, they have, like, the German architecture there, the houses. It's wild. But, yeah, seeing that picture, that's
pretty crazy. I just don't know how that would
I don't know
in
what that's
any
about.
way relate to anything in Mexico.
Yeah. That's yeah.
You know what I mean?
Weird. Huh.
Very bizarre, very bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, drug cartels, I feel like they've just been running the Mexican government for so long. It's probably not.
It, dude.
Yeah, just for as long as, I was born in 1995, and literally ever since I can remember, that's all I've ever heard. They've made movies about it. They've,
and they've captured the leaders of the cartels, but that's not going to change anything.
Yeah,
There's just going to be someone taking their spot. That's
yeah,
all
it was
is.
it was El Chapo, and then it was El Chapo's sons, and then it's their predecessor.
Yep.
It's they have they're the predecessor of somebody. It's always somebody else who's next in line to run the operation.
Next in command.
It's a business.
Second in command, yeah.
It's absolutely a business. It's really crazy. But yeah, another hot topic we could touch on, if you guys are okay to move on, would be the hurricane relief effort from the government, or lack thereof, we will say.
Yeah.
We know there's been two pretty major hurricanes over the last, what's it been, 3 weeks? Luckily, my wife, daughter, and I are out of Florida right now, so we didn't get hit by anything, so that's good. But my parents are down there.
Your parents?
Yeah,
are good?
they're good. No damage to the house, which is good. They had no power for like 4 days. They just got it back on today.
Hell yeah! Still got that fence up.
Yep, because he rebuilt it with chain link this time.
Yes,
But
sir.
his neighbors was completely destroyed again. But yeah, I mean, what Blano? We'll start with you, man. What do you think of the effort from the government over these last two hurricanes? I don't know if you've seen anything anywhere or.
Not really. And to be honest with you, I've been so busy that I haven't even
Been checking the news.
looked into it or even did some research. But just at a cursory glance, I'm seeing a lot of looks like a lot of private groups are sending help, right? There's one, directrelief.org. Looks like they're a private organization that helps with natural disasters and relief. I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off, but how can we send billions of dollars to other countries for, war relief and effort and aid?
Cheers to that.
That's your second cup?
No, that's my first. I said cheers to that.
Jesus.
What you got in that big gulp there, bub?
Oh my God.
This is Dr. Pepper. The other one's water. So, look, obviously, the funding at a federal level has been divvied up where it needs to go, right? So the money that gets sent to Ukraine obviously comes from our military budget, right? It doesn't come from infrastructure, everything else, right? And it's easy to say, well, we can send all this money here. Why aren't we doing it here? But that comes down to the people who are at that level allocating those funds need to stop allocating so many fucking funds to the military efforts and do it for the infrastructure. What about the they were sending a bunch of money to the refugees out in Ohio, like what was it, $1,500 a person?
The migrants.
Yeah, from I think it was Haiti, right?
Haiti.
Could be wrong.
Haiti.
Haitians,
man. Yeah.
There was a lot of them down there in Florida, man. And I'll tell you what, they're a rude bunch.
Are they that bad? Huh?
Really?
No, I'm not even joking. Yeah, bro, like nobody messed with the Haitians like that. Like it was Cubans down there. There was, Hispanic Mexicans down there. There was, every race. And it was like, cause it was, Florida, and I worked with a lot of them, and bro, like nobody messed with the Haitians. Not like mess with them. Like they were like scared of them, but like they just didn't, they were like, nah, we're cool off them. They were just like very like, just super aggressive people. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
Just very rude. Like those are the type of people that just walk in front of you in the store, or you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I think it is. I do, Blano. I do think it's a cultural thing.
I don't know, because I've never interacted or spoke with somebody who's from right, so I don't know.
I would say within the last 2 years, obviously I take Ubers, but within the last 2 years, there's have been an influx of immigrant drivers, and it is crazy. Some of them drive,
and they don't even speak English. And
No.
and what's crazy about it is, man, is they've taken all those type of the gig work to jobs, if you want to call them that or whatever, like Ubers, Lyfts, the DoorDash, Walmart delivery. That's all we have. Like, yeah, it's always just like, I don't know if they're illegal or not. I don't want to say illegals, but
yeah, who knows?
It could be illegal people, if not, whatever. But it's like, either way, it's like, how did these people, all these people have, and what's crazy is you'll get somebody and it'll say, oh, Maria is delivering your food or your Walmart order, and you'll look outside and it's some dude.
Yeah, I've got that a few times too.
Oh, they were pulling up in a Jeep. They pulled up in a Prius.
So it's somebody. Yep. It's somebody who signed up to be
under
a DoorDasher
under somebody else's name,
and then they're going out and they're maybe it's a family, right? And they're taking turns doing what they need to do to. And I get it, right? They're doing what they can do to survive. But the main issue that I was bringing up was I don't know. Like I haven't done the research. I can't speak on something I don't know. But it's easy to look on the outside and say, why isn't our government helping? But we have to recognize. The government doesn't give a flying fuck.
Yep.
They don't
At
care.
the end of the day, yeah. I mean, it's crazy because, it's like you said, Blano, there's a lot of private organizations that are kind of funding it and really like pushing it.
Trying to help.
Yeah, like I seen that Trump and Elon Musk actually released the Starlink out to like everybody out there because they couldn't have power or something like that, and they was supposed to
cool.
provide them power. And it's like, like, why are people like that having to do it when we literally have a government organization for that?
Right.
It's literally designed to help for natural disasters. But we can't.
weird.
But they can't do their job because there's no funding. And there's no funding because, like Blano mentioned earlier, they've given all the money to Ukraine and the migrants.
But I do have a question for Blaine. So in your line of work, so I know you probably don't have natural disasters or New Mexico, right?
Dust storms.
So is there any dust storm. So is there anything put in place that you know of? Like, say if there was like a prison in Florida, North Carolina, whatever, like, do they stay there? Or like I said, protocols? Like what?
Say that again, buddy.
So, like, is there any protocols for, like, if there's a prison in Florida, North Carolina that got hit by a hurricane or whatever, earthquake, what do the prisoners stay? Like, what, or do they get transferred to a new prison? How does that work? Do you know?
That's a good question. It obviously it's going to come down to policy that place has set in place. I can't speak too much for ours because there's some inner workings that obviously I can't release, but it'd be down to having that rapport with other facilities, right? And you have to think different facilities have different contracts, right? Like we're not on a federal level. Some facilities are, right? So let's say a prison in North Carolina gets smoked by a hurricane, but they're a federal-based prison. You can't just send federal inmates to some random, county jail.
Gotcha.
You have to find a federal prison, and hopefully it's close enough. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So if there's an event where half the building gets demolished in some freak accident, some freak hurricane, whatever, it's on the people that work there to get the job done and get these guys moved, right?
Oh God, okay.
So there are protocols in place, obviously, and you don't plan on it to happen, but you have a plan in place just in case it does happen, right? But that being said, like Florida is a hot spot for hurricanes. Fuck, they just got hit with 2. You would think there would be something in place to help with relief and funding and cleanup and everything else. The infrastructure.
But, absolutely, yeah. No, it's crazy. And actually, the first one, like I think it actually devastated like North Carolina, like the worst. North Carolina and Georgia.
And Tennessee got smoked all the way up into the Appalachian Mountains. They'd never seen a hurricane before.
That's what I was about to say. That's crazy. Like, how does that even happen? What's going on with the climate? I mean, my goodness. We've literally seen these historic storms. We were part of a Category 5 hurricane in 2022, like 180 mile an hour winds. I went outside in that shit. It was crazy.
Why?
It's like, how are these things happening so frequently now? People are talking about, it hasn't been 100 years since this happened. Why are they happening so frequently now?
I mean, that's a good question.
That's an Earth question, right? I mean, seriously, it makes you think. You really got to think about that because there's so many. It seems like and I don't know if it's just people are reporting on them more, or I mean, hurricanes you always hear about, and 2 of them within 2 weeks is very uncommon.
Yes, very, very.
And and especially at that level that they were at, I mean, you might get like Category 1s, but there was like 15 tornadoes spotted across the area that I used to live, where my parents actually live right still. 15 tornadoes spotted in that area during that time.
Tornadoes?
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense, right? All the winds, and the hot, and the cold air,
Yeah, because
it'd be natural for tornadoes to just spawn off, right?
Yeah, because it's like it's because they didn't get hit by the actual hurricane this time. Because luckily it turned and it hit Tampa, which sucks for them. But oh well. What are you gonna do?
Oh well.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, but yeah, so they got hit by the hurricane, and it's just one of those things, man. I don't know, but it's crazy because, like I said, lack thereof relief from the government doesn't make sense. Why all these other private entities have to do the government's work when we all pay taxes.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys are too young to remember, but Hurricane Katrina, this was
Too
pretty
young,
much the same
too young to
thing.
remember. Like we're
Listen,
like he's
no,
10
some people
years
don't
10 years
remember the
younger.
prob-
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
remember
saying.
Hurricane Katrina.
But this was another problem. FEMA didn't react fast enough, and that's why you had people jumping off the
People were
New
getting
Orleans Stadium.
eaten by alligators out
You
there
know?
and shit.
Yeah, it's.
I remember
yeah,
I remember hearing about a woman getting eaten by an alligator out there.
yeah, it's crazy. It's rough out in them streets.
Out in them streets. What were you about to say there, Blano?
Who?
No, I thought Blano was about to say something, but
I was, so at the end of the day, right? If we want to help, we need to be the ones to go out and help, right? We as in, obviously, what can I do from New Mexico, right? When I say we, I mean the people living in Florida, around Florida, instead of pointing blame, saying, why is the government not doing it? Go out there and do it. For an able-bodied man, person, financially, physically, go out there and help. There's people out there who lost their entire lives, right? So, do what you got to do. Help your fellow person, and get their feet.
you know what I'll say about that though, Blano, real quick. I was just talking to Drew about that. I was watching an NFL broadcast the other day, and the announcers come on and they go, "Man, I really hate saying this, but if everybody could just go out and donate to this the Red Cross to help the hurricane relief survivors and this, that, and the fourth, and I hate to say that." Me and Erica go, so you're telling everybody who's watching, who is usually a blue-collar American worker, to go out and donate their money that they're working hard for. But everybody that's talking right now and everybody on the field who's making millions of dollars, what are they doing? Dak Prescott just got paid $60 million a year for the next 4 years. Why can't he donate $10 million a year?
Yeah.
Why can't the countries that we just sent all that money to? Why can't all those countries that we aid? Where are they at when something happens with our country? Why does it always fall on, oh, you're a fellow American and you need to do this because you're an American? Motherfucker, I'm trying to live. I'm still trying to live too. Have you seen the prices of milk? Have you seen the prices of fucking rent?
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real here. You know what I mean? It's like, we always talk about, help me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm over here trying to help myself. I mean, I'm just trying to break it down and be real with you, man, because it's like,
No, you're right. Like if every A-list celebrity or every major company
take
in
P
America,
Diddy's money and send it out.
Yeah, liquidate his assets. Get his house.
I mean, they got him on so many crimes. Why don't they just disperse his money to the hurricane shit?
Yeah.
That'd probably cover it all. You know what I mean? It's like I just don't understand. It always angers me when I hear people go on live television making $500,000 a year and say, it really pains me to ask you guys to go ahead and donate your $20 to this Red Cross. It's like, man, like how much money you put up? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which who knows? They might have put something up. We won't know. They won't say, "Oh, I did." But I donated this much. But yeah, no, I
get what I'm saying in the grand scheme of things. And then not even that. Even put that aside. Where's the countries that we help? Aren't we part of this thing called NATO?
Yeah. Oh God, no, they don't. They don't care about us.
You know what I'm saying, Drew? I mean, you see what I'm saying though? But we're supposed to help them. Shit don't work like that. It's a two-way street, baby. At the end of the day, that's a whole nother discussion. Like I said, though, that's a whole nother discussion, man. It's just
getting on a roll.
I'll go on a rampage with that discussion, But yeah, I mean, Blano, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to discuss tonight, man. It was super cool. You were able to get back on, dude. Hoping to have you back, obviously, next week too.
We'll see. I mean, obviously next weekend I'm working all weekend, still on night shifts, so we'll just have to play by ear and
try to figure out a solution maybe during the week or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning into the LP show today, episode 7. Not super long, but we're super happy. Like I said, that Blano was able to pop back in with us. Drew's over there laughing. Not sure what
Nah,
he's
it's just-
giggling about over there, but
I'm just thinking about all the topics we went over, and it's
we went over a few different topics today, so we like to keep it choppy, keep it interesting. We appreciate everybody in the comments, all the comments in the shorts and on the videos and stuff like that. All the new viewers, we're up to 23 subscribers, which is super dope, super cool.
thank you.
So we appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, we appreciate you guys watching the LP show. This was episode 7. Look forward to episode 8. I'm Luke. I'll let Drew, say his outro, and then Blano, if you want to send us out, man, we'll catch everybody on episode 8.
Get it.
Yes, again, thank you for always having me here. It's always a pleasure. I love the topics. I love the conversation. Like and subscribe. Again, go out and vote. It's getting closer. Thank you.
It's important.
All right, guys. This has been episode 7 of the LP show. I'm your host, Brooks, my co-host, Lucas, and our special guest, Drew. Have a good night.
Peace out.
This has been the LP Show. Thank you for watching. My name is Phillips. This is my boy Lucas. Tune in next week.